that, of course, is a story for another day, and I'll see you, and we'll talk about that down the road. Welcome, wrestling fans. You got the show Bill Schuyler here at One Wrestling's NXT News and Reviews, and we're going to talk all about NXT's Takeover London, a quick review of this week's go-home show to Takeover, and a quick State of the Union for NXT. You have your World Heavyweight Champion Finn Balor, who I give a grade of an A-. I just think that they need to have the champ a little more out in the forefront, representing the company a little bit more, letting fans not forget who the champ is and why. Finn should be involved in a little bit more for that company on television, whether it's through vignettes or recordings or just interviews as a whole. Let alone, it wouldn't be bad to see Finn in the occasional match on TV going up against enhancement talent. Your women's champion Bayley gets an A+ no matter what, because Bayley just is mind-blowing, and she is the absolute greatest homebred WWE white meat babyface that they've had in over a decade. Your tag team champions Dash and Dawson, A+. These guys have come from out of nowhere, took the gold like they said they were going to do, and they are just running off all over the NXT tag team division, and I see them holding on to the gold for quite a while. I even want to see them involved in a stable that I've had in my head, that being the Redneck Horsemen, consisting of themselves, James Storm at the lead, and new up-and-comer from the Indies, the Southern Messiah himself, John Schuyler. That, my friends, would be the Redneck Four Horsemen. And I absolutely must demand, and I hope you will stand with me in tweeting and hashtagging everything you can to Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, that there will be no more NXT talent to be taken up to the main roster until Vincent Kennedy McMahon steps down and hands the reins of the company over to Stephanie and Triple H, because they do not creatively know how to use NXT talent on the main roster in that type of format that they have their wrestlers involved in. Yes, Charlotte is the champion. Yes, Kevin Owens is the Intercontinental Champion. But for the most part, everybody else just seems to get lost in the shuffle, aka Adrian Neville, even an Adam Rose, even Sasha Banks is not being used properly. There's many stars that have made their way up that aren't getting that push that they need to be, because they are not incorporating the style of NXT, and these guys and gals are not fitting in to this formatted stale product that the main roster has become, in this reporter's opinion. Glad to see we have Sami Zayn and Hideo Itami both on the return to NXT. Hideo's going to be a couple months more down the road, but Sami is going to be on that UK tour, and he should be on, I can't believe that he wouldn't be, on Takeover London. And I really, truly want to see Sami stay here in NXT. He is the lifeblood of the company. He is considered by many and most to be the face of NXT. He has such passion, such power, such exuberance for the product that I don't feel they'll properly use him up there on the main roster. Yeah, if he had overcome and defeated John Cena in that match on Raw and went forward, may have made a big deal. But unless they're going to move Sami up and have him in a long-term, hear me out, long-term program with Kevin Owens. Really don't want to see him go up there and get shifted off to the side like too much talent has done. And the roster itself at NXT is just one of the best rosters in the business. Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, James Storm, Apollo Crews, Baron Corbin, Sami Zayn, Hideo Itami, Adrian Neville, Rich Swann, Tommaso Ciampa, Dash Wilder and Scott Dawson, Chad Gable and Jason Jordan, Enzo and Big Cass, English and Gotch, Blake and Murphy, John Schuyler, Elias Sampson. You got possibilities of Johnny Gargano, Gunner, Austin Aries, La Sombra, and Biff Busick. And of course, the women's division is so large right now with so many coming in and out, I can't even keep track. But just having, Bailey, Nia Jax, Asuka, Emma, Dana. I mean, it's a bliss. I mean, there's so many. And it grows each and every week. One of the best women's rosters in the business. And 2016 just looks to continue to keep getting better and better and better for the NXT product. Now let's talk. We had our go home show, and I'm only going to go over this briefly with this, but we had an excellent show as always, but their go home shows really always deliver, and it did this week. You had Enzo and Cass coming in really dark, angry, and violent, completely demolishing Hollis and Schuyler. You had Asuka going up against Deonna Purrazzo, Emma and Dana at the top of the ramp trying to get in her head. Didn't work, as Asuka did a backspin kick and knocked out her opponent for the win. Yes, it was a knockout. And the girls kind of shockingly beat feet and got out of there before Asuka got a hold of them. And Asuka, of course, just simply smiling at the competition. You had the Hype Bros who were hyped going up against Blake and Murphy, former NXT Tag Team Champions. Hype Bros are really growing on me and are really over with the fans. Of course, Blake and Murphy with Alexa Bliss in their corner are an outstanding tag team. This was a great match with all four guys just going at it and giving us what they got. We wound up with the Hype Bros taking the win. I want to see more of these guys going at it down the road. And, of course, we had a non-title match between Bayley going up against Peyton Royce. This was a great women's match. Bayley coming out on top. And your main event, Finn Balor and Apollo Crews going up against former tag team partners in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Invitational, if you will, Samoa Joe and Baron Corbin, who took the win over Finn Balor and Apollo Crews, getting themselves up and ready for NXT TakeOver this upcoming week. And now we're going to talk about TakeOver London, a special event for the WWE, as they are having this match take place live in the UK, which means it's going to be a 3 o'clock bell time for the main event of TakeOver London, the pre-show being at 2:30 p.m. So if you're at work, you're at school, and you're not going to make it home in time, take use of whatever you have for streaming the content, whether it be a tablet, a phone, whatever, and you'll be able to watch it anywhere that you are. If not, you'll be able to watch it 24/7 on the network when you do get home. We got matches confirmed, but we have talent that we know are going to be there, but they haven't been given matches being listed for the event, so we don't know where that's going to be or what they're going to do. We have so far Asuka going up against Emma. I see this being an outstanding women's match, and I see Asuka defeating Emma pretty solidly, besides any shenanigans that may go on between Dana coming to the ring. I think Asuka will take care of anything or anybody that's getting in the way of her being the winner in this match. We then have Apollo Crews and Baron Corbin, who are going to go head to head in some smash mouth wrestling. These guys are going to tear the ring apart. But Apollo Crews has a lot more to offer than just brute strength, and I think that is going to give him the win over Baron Corbin. We then have the tag team champions of Dash and Dawson going up against Enzo and Big Cass. Everyone seems to think that Enzo and Cass are going to win this match. The show says, The show says that the champions retain the title by hook or by crook. They will win this match. We then have the women's champion Bayley going up against Nia Jax. I see this as being a good match. I don't think it's going to be great because Nia Jax, in my opinion, is still very green, and I'm not even sure she should have been brought up to the main roster of NXT yet. That's my opinion. And I definitely don't think she's ready to hold the gold. So I see Bayley pulling this out regardless of any shenanigans that could go forth here with Nia Jax and any of her big red connections trying to interfere in the match. Bayley, I see, continue to go strongly forward as the People's Champion, Women's Champion. Bayley is without doubt one of the most over faces in not just NXT but in the entire WWE. And of course your main event would be Finn Balor going up against Samoa Joe. I am a long-term fan of Samoa Joe, and I would love to see Joe take that NXT gold. But I think you're going to see Finn Balor, who is back in the UK. Finn Balor, the Demon, the former Prince Devitt, who I think is going to take a large step into the dark side and really bring forth some moves and attitude that we haven't seen so far by the champion here at NXT. And I see Finn Balor retaining the NXT title and defeating the Samoan submission machine, Samoa Joe. That leaves us with Sami Zayn, Adrian Neville, and James Storm, let alone we have Chad Gable and Jason Jordan, the Vaudevillains, and Blake and Murphy, and a whole lot of others who may or may not be on this tour. So I really don't know what we're going to see. I would love to see perhaps Zayn, Neville, and Storm in a three-man dance. Don't know how that's going to be. Of course, Sami Zayn and Adrian Neville, former NXT champions. James Storm, although not to be admitted, he is a former Impact TNA World Heavyweight Champion himself. These three champions in one match, I think, would be one hell of a competition. And of course, we have again Team Bam, the Vaudevillains, and Abel, Willing, and Gable, of course. And I think we may see these three teams in a triple team match. And that would pretty much flesh out Takeover to give us a full-blown show. No matter what, we also have William Regal, who will be officially retiring. That event, that procession, whatever they're going to do, is going to occur here on NXT. It was unfortunate that Regal had to have surgery and was not going to be able to have what was to be his last actual wrestling match here at home in London. But we give our best and our love to William Regal, who has given us years and years of wrestling. Just unbelievable matches, and his backstage abilities, his locker room leadership, and his ability to scout talent goes beyond the pale. This pretty much sums up everything going on in NXT right now. There's really no outstanding news other than the fact that NXT is to be very interested in signing not only AJ Styles, as his contract is coming up, and not only Nakamura from New Japan Wrestling, who they are very interested in signing. That may even be a WWE main event, main roster signing for Nakamura. Hard to say. But Jay Lethal, the Ring of Honor World Champion, former World and TV Champion, former X Division Champion in Impact Wrestling, they really, truly want to get him in the company. These would be tremendous signings and a continued blossoming of this roster. Huge fan of all these gentlemen, and they can only bring great things to NXT and eventually to the main roster itself. I want to give a shout out to our friends over at the Wrestling Zone Daily, at WZ Daily on Twitter, WrestleZone.com, Nick Hausman at the WZ Rebel, and Big Ray at Big Ray Show, who is on the WZ Daily every Wednesday, and the icon, Bill Apter, the boss, bringing Apter's Alley to WrestleZone every Friday. Make sure you tune in, sign up for the podcast, and you won't miss any of the WZ Daily and WZ WrestleZone.com programming that comes out on that podcast. Great stuff. But what I want to talk about is the Big Slam Nation. That's right, the Big Slam Nation's Tables, Ladders, and Chairs prediction show is upcoming tomorrow, being Friday night, early Saturday morning release. Make sure you tune in. Billy Ray will be on there, the Professor, and I believe 8-Track, myself, and Big Ray. We got to earn some coin for the family, and we're going to be working and not available this week. But that doesn't mean you don't tune in, because the Big Slam Nations, we have the best in the business, in my humble opinion, and we give you the best. So tune in and find out all about who's going to possibly make their step into claiming that Apters Cup. Get your opportunity to win yourself a free t-shirt from Pro Wrestling Tees. And with that, I am the show, Bill Schuyler. Follow me at You Got the Show. Follow the Big Slam Nation at Big Slam Nation. Bill Apter at Apter One Wrestling. Big Ray at Big Ray Show. Professor, the PROFPW Hustle. Billy Ray Valentine at Billy Ray Hustle. The Pharaoh of Fancy, being 8-Track Brown, and Fame Black at Fame Black, and the newest member of the Big Slam Nation family, OK Fabe. Follow him at OK Fabe. Check him out on YouTube. He's got some tremendous, hilarious content, and he will be our Impact Wrestling reporter. That's coming up very soon. With that, I bid you a great and entertaining NXT Takeover, a TLC WWE TLC pay-per-view, which should be out of this world, with a lot of former NXT talent filling up each and every match. And with that, I will see you down the road.